What's up, guys? It's Max from Stay Cool Apparel, and today, welcome to part 2 of how I did my driver license in Cyprus. I asked a friend, George, if he knows someone that has a driver school. And he agreed, and he said he knows Marius from back in school. And he gave me his number, and I called him, and the next day we met in front of the hospital. We had a small talk, and after it, he asked me, do you know the signs? And I asked him which signs? The traffic signs. And I agreed because I'm driving motorbikes for almost my entire life. And then he said, okay, then if you are ready, we can go to the Department of Road Transport and you can do your theoretical test. And I asked him, maybe do you have some papers I can study so I can have a look at the traffic signs again? And he searched for it, and then he came up with a shitty book he gave me. I went home, I studied it for like 1 week, gave him a call, and we met the next day. It was a Thursday in the morning in front of the Department of Road Transport. I love this name. And also, he said, you will need a face mask and negative C test, and told me that they are really strict with it. Also, I will need my passport, 2 invoices to prove that I live in Cyprus, and 2 pictures of my face, and 20 euros. So I collected everything, and on the next day we met in front of the department, and we went into the building. We went to a small office with 2 desks, 2 guys smoking cigarettes inside the office with no mask for sure. And he said something in Greek to one of them and he left. And the guy on the left, he had a board in front of him with traffic signs. And he took his pencil and one after another, he pointed at the signs. And for example, the first one, that's the true story. The first one was a stop sign. And I told him that's a stop sign. The second one was a sign that says it's forbidden to turn left. The third one was a sign for side winds, etc. And he pointed at 8 signs, and I told him what they mean. Silence. He went to his printer, he printed something, he signed it, and gave it to me. And I asked, did I pass? And both of them smiled at me and said, yes, you pass. So I went out, I told Marius, and he said, great, we can start doing the driver lessons from tomorrow. And that's what we did. So the next day, I started to do driving. By the way, in Cyprus, 1 hour is 60 minutes. And it costs you about 25 euros. So in the morning, Marius asked me, do you drive? And I didn't understand, but I said, yes, I drive, because I have driven before. And so we started driving in a small street. And after 5 minutes, I found myself driving on the main road, on the biggest road in the city I live. I mean, I don't live in the city, but you know what I mean. In the city, we did the driving school. So this was something exciting for me, because honestly, I thought driving with the car must be easy because it has 4 wheels. But it's not like that. It was actually, in the beginning, it was difficult for me. So altogether, I was doing about 10 to 12 hours just to make sure that my driving is on point, because Marius also told me that the appointments for the final test are really rare because they don't have so much examinators. The driving lessons in general just contained of basic driving. No extra bullshit, no driving in the dark, no driving extra lessons on the countryside, no driving on the motorway, nothing like that. And the basic scenarios for the final test are doing parallel parking, which means you will park behind another car, not between 2 cars, no, just behind another car. Do a U-turn in a smaller road. He said do a 3-point. That means you go back and forth and then you turn. And the third scenario was do a right reverse, which means you enter a secondary road backwards. So that's it. And that's what we trained for. So Marius, in general, he was a cool guy. I like him. He was a little bit younger than me, always wearing sunglasses, always having a cigarette in his face. And also, he was really strict. I mean, he couldn't be quiet. He always had to complain about something. Also, when I do just tiny mistakes, he was So on the 3rd hour, I had enough. I told him, man, can you just be quiet for a while? Let's try to pretend that this is the final test and you only say something if I failed. And he agreed, he said, okay, I will try, but he didn't try. So it was just his natural, I don't know. Okay, as soon as we came closer to the date of my final test, it was the 14th of February 2022. Marius told me there are 4 examinators, 2 good, 2 bad, and that he's hoping that I will get one of the good ones because then it will be much easier to pass. And I told him, Marius, I'm a lucky guy. I will get one of the good guys, for sure. On the day of the final test, I was so nervous. And I can't remember when I was that excited last time. And Marius didn't seem to make it better because he also seemed to be really excited and nervous. So we went to the Department of Road Transport again. What the f***? Let's go there. I want to show it to you. See you later, Billy. Billy. Bye-bye. While I'm driving, let me tell you a little story I forgot. The first day I started driving with Marius, I did the thing we do in Germany. It's called Schulterblick, where you look over your shoulder to make 100% sure no one is there if you switch lanes or something. And I did it because I know that in the final test, if you don't do it in Germany, you will fail. Marius saw it and gave me that strange look and said, what the fuck are you doing? And I explained to him and he said, no, don't do this because your mirrors are there for a reason. And the examinator will probably think you can't trust your mirrors. So for a German, that's probably really funny. So I'm on my way to the Department of Road Transport to show you. So this was my way to the Department of Road Transport. There with the white cars, that's the place you start. So this is the Department of Road Transport. So we went to the Department of Road Transport again, and I went in the same office like when I did the theoretical test. And I found myself there with one other guy and a girl, which also had their final test that day. One of the examinators had a little cup with 3 plastic eggs inside, and they asked us to choose one. I grabbed one at first, like a true gentleman do. And it came out that I had the same examinator like in a theoretical test. And like I told Marius before, it was one of the good guys. So I went out of the office, I went to Marius and told him that I choose one of the good guys. And he was happy for me. And then I went into the car and I waited for the examinator to start the final test. So there where you see the white cars, that's the place where I started my final test. So the examinator came out of this door. Marius was waiting here. He was excited like me. And then I started the car. And then we go this way out to the streets. In Germany, the driving instructor and the examinator, they are both part of the final test. In Cyprus, you drive alone with the examinator. So I started the car. The examinator came and told me which direction I have to go. And compared to Marius, he was so chilled and he was so quiet that for the first time ever, I was driving in a car with someone quiet, with someone not complaining. And I had a feeling that I'm doing good. And I had a feeling that I'm doing nothing wrong. It was great. So we went into the town, past the main roundabout, went in a smaller road. He asked me to do a right reverse, where I have to drive backwards into a secondary road. I did it almost correct. Back to the roundabout and back to the Department of Road Transport. I stopped the car And the examinator went out and I asked him, did I pass? And he said, come to the office. So I came to the office, he gave me 2 papers and told me I passed. And this was a fucking great day. Wait, I'll show you my license, which took me 43 years. Yeah, that's my Cyprus driving license for cars. Yeah. So all together, let's count. 20 euros theoretical test. I did, let's say, 12 hours driver's lessons, which means 300 euros. And 120 euros for the final test, which is altogether 440 euros. Compared to Germany, it's a good deal. So I hope you guys liked the video. Now you can compare between Germany and Cyprus. And I already have a really exciting idea for the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I have nothing else to say.